Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll review the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This book is divided into four parts, each containing multiple chapters that explore key principles for building relationships, improving communication, and influencing others in a positive way. Part 1, Fundamental Techniques in Handling People. Chapter 1, If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. The first chapter of Carnegie's book introduces the key concept of not criticizing, condemning, or complaining. He uses the metaphor of kicking over the beehive to emphasize that criticism often leads to defensiveness rather than improvement. Carnegie illustrates this principle with real life examples such as his story about the historical figure Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln, instead of condemning his enemies, focused on their positive attributes and worked toward reconciliation. Carnegie argues that criticism only breeds resentment and that people are more likely to change their behavior through encouragement, understanding, and respect. The chapter's main message is that to effectively influence people, one must avoid harsh judgment and work towards empathy. Chapter 2, The Big Secret of Dealing with People. This chapter focuses on the universal human desire for appreciation. Carnegie argues that people crave recognition and sincere praise more than material wealth. He cites example of famous figures who thrive due to the support and admiration of others like Charles Schwab, a steel magnate who used positive reinforcement to motivate employees. Carnegie stresses that the key to influencing others is to give honest, specific, and sincere appreciation. He cautions against flattery as it comes across as insincere and manipulative. The principle of appreciation is fundamental to human motivation, and this chapter emphasizes that it should be done authentically for the best results. Chapter 3, He who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely way. In this chapter, Carnegie introduces the idea of arousing an eager want in others. He suggests that instead of trying to force people to do something, it's more effective to understand their needs and desire and align your objectives with theirs. Carnegie stresses the importance of being empathetic and making others feel that they are acting in their own best interest. By framing your request in terms of what the other person wants, you motivate them to act voluntarily. This chapter focuses on persuasion as means of influence rather than coercion. Part 2, 6 Ways to Make People Like You. Chapter 1, Do this and you will be welcome anywhere. Carnegie starts this chapter by highlighting the importance of becoming genuinely interested in other people. He states that one of the simplest way, yet the most effective way to win friends is to take a genuine interest in others' lives, thoughts, and experiences. By listening actively and showing curiosity about what others have to say, you create an instant connection. Carnegie gives the example of Theodore Roosevelt, who was known for his ability to engage deeply with people from all walks of life. The key message here is that people like those who take an interest in them, and this should be done without ulterior motives. Chapter 2, A Simple Way to Make Good First Impression. This chapter focuses on the power of the sincere smile. Carnegie argues that a smile is a universal sign of warmth and openness, and that the people are naturally drawn to those who radiate positivity. A genuine smile can break down barriers and make others feel at ease, which in turn helps build rapport. The chapter encourages readers to adopt a friendly demeanor, which can create an atmosphere of trust and mutual respect. Carnegie uses the numerous real life stories to demonstrate how this simple yet powerful tool can leave a lasting positive impression. Chapter 3, If you don't do this, you are headed for trouble. Carnegie stresses the importance of remembering and using people's names. He explains that person's name is to them the sweetest sound in any language, and addressing someone by their name is a powerful way to show respect and recognition. He cites the example of how simple it was for a salesman to establish rapport with a customer by remembering their name. This chapter highlights the significance of making people feel important, which is key to forming positive relationships. Carnegie advises making an effort to remember names as it signals attention and appreciation. Chapter 4: An easy way to become a good conversationalist. This chapter emphasizes the art of listening. Carnegie argues that people love to talk about themselves, their experiences, and their interests. To win people over and gain their trust, one must be an attentive listener. Carnegie suggests encouraging others to talk by asking open ended questions and showing genuine curiosity about their responses. The focus on this chapter is on creating a two-way exchange where the other person feels heard and valued. By giving others the chance to share their stories, you build a sense of connection that can lead to deeper relationships. Chapter 5: How to Interest People. In this chapter, Carnegie advises readers to talk in terms of the other person's interest. People are more likely to engage in the conversation and feel valued when the discussion revolves around the topics that they care about. The Carnegie shares the example of the speaker who captivated his audience by aligning his message with the audience's interest and concerns. The key takeaway here is to engage others effectively. It's essential to tailor your communication to their personal interest, making the conversation more meaningful and enjoyable for them. Chapter 6: How to Make People Like You Instantly. The final chapter in this section discusses the importance of making others feel important, but doing so sincerely. Carnegie stresses that true, heartfelt appreciation is far more valuable than superficial compliments. By making others feel significant and acknowledging their contributions, you win their admiration and trust. Carnegie offers a powerful example from the world of business where leaders who genuinely valued their employees fostered loyalty and hard work. This principle is applicable both in personal and professional settings. Part 3: How to Win People to Your Way of Thinking. Chapter 1: You Can't Win an Argument. Carnegie starts this chapter with a simple but profound piece of advice. The only way to get best of an argument is to avoid it. He argues that winning an argument often leaves both parties feeling alienated and that it's better to avoid conflict altogether. The chapter suggests that instead of arguing, one should focus on finding common ground. This chapter also emphasizes the importance of humility, showing respect for the other person's opinions, and staying open minded. By avoiding arguments and maintaining a cooperative attitude, you increase the likelihood of winning people over to your perspective. Chapter 2: A Sure Way of Making Enemies and How to Avoid It. Here, Carnegie advises readers to never directly tell someone that they are wrong. Doing so often creates defensiveness and resentment. Instead, he suggests that it's more effective to approach disagreements gently and diplomatically, offering a solution rather than simply criticizing. The principle behind this chapter is rooted in the concept of showing respect for others' viewpoints. When people feel that their opinions are respected, they are more likely to be open to persuasion. Chapter 3: If you are wrong, admit it. Carnegie argues that when you make a mistake, the best course of action is to admit it quickly and emphatically. People respect those who are willing to take responsibility for their actions, and admitting mistakes helps to build trust. Carnegie also notes that admitting wrongs creates an atmosphere of understanding and allows for a smoother resolution to conflicts. By acknowledging your mistakes, you demonstrate humility and build rapport with others, making it easier to influence them in the future. Chapter 4: The Secret of Socrates. In this chapter, Carnegie discusses the power of asking questions. He recommends using Socratic questioning techniques to lead others to the desired conclusion without dictating it. By asking the right questions, you can guide people toward understanding and agreement without appearing forceful or overbearing. This approach is highly effective in both personal and professional settings as it encourages cooperation and problem solving while avoiding confrontation. Chapter 5: The Safety Valve in Handling Complaints. Carnegie talks about the importance of listening carefully to complaints and making the person feel understood. Instead of becoming defensive or dismissive, the key is to listen with empathy and acknowledge the person's concern. Once you have given them the chance to express their frustrations, you can find a solution that satisfies both parties. This chapter highlights the importance of patience and empathy when dealing with complaints, showing that positive outcomes often arise from handling difficult situations gracefully. Chapter 6: How to Get Cooperation. In this chapter, Carnegie emphasizes the value of starting conversations in a friendly way, setting a positive tone for collaboration. He suggests that by expressing genuine interest and maintaining a cooperative attitude, you can win others' cooperation and foster mutual respect. Using real life examples, Carnegie illustrates how starting with a friendly demeanor helps create a sense of trust which can lead to more effective cooperation in achieving shared goals. Part 4: Be a Leader. How to Change People Without Giving Offense or Arousing Resentment. Chapter 1: If You Must Find Fault, This is the Way to Begin. Carnegie begins this chapter by advising leaders to begin any criticism with praise. By starting with positive feedback, you help cushion the impact of the criticism and make it easier for the person to accept. This chapter advocates for constructive feedback using gentle language that encourages improvement without making the other person feel defensive or humiliated. Chapter 2: How to Criticize and Not Be Hated for It. Carnegie offers advice on delivering criticism effectively, suggesting that the best approach is to offer suggestions for improvement rather than simply pointing out faults. By framing criticism as a way to help the person grow, you avoid creating resentment and foster an atmosphere of collaboration. Chapter 3: Talk about your own mistakes first. In this chapter, Carnegie advocates for humility and transparency. When offering feedback, it's often effective to admit your own mistakes first, which creates a sense of shared experience and reduces defensiveness in the other person. By acknowledging your own flaws, you foster an environment where others feel comfortable acknowledging theirs. Chapter 4: No One Likes to Take Orders. Carnegie discusses the importance of encouraging others to take ownership of their actions. Instead of issuing direct orders, he suggests that leaders ask questions and make suggestions which helps others feel empowered and more likely to follow through. This approach also fosters a sense of respect and autonomy. Chapter 5: Let the Other Person Save Face. This chapter underscores the importance of protecting the dignity of others, especially when giving feedback or criticism. Carnegie stresses that maintaining the other person's self-respect is essential in maintaining a positive relationship. By being considerate and tactful, leaders can preserve the relationship while still making necessary corrections. Chapter 6: How to Spur People on to Success. Carnegie argues that praise and encouragement are vital in motivating others. By recognizing even small improvements, you inspire people to strive for greater success. He also recommends making the task seem easier and more attainable, which boosts confidence and motivation. Give Chapter 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. This chapter advises leaders to give others a reputation for excellence, which encourages them to act in ways that uphold that reputation. By expressing confidence in someone's ability, you inspire them to meet those expectations and excel. Chapter 8. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Carnegie concludes the section by discussing how leaders can help others see their faults as opportunities for improvement by framing corrections as minor adjustments rather than major flaws. You make it easy for others to change and succeed. So, the principles outlined in the book are as relevant today as when they were first written, making it the must read for anyone seeking to improve their social and professional life. The book's enduring popularity is a testament to the effectiveness of Carnegie's strategies for winning people over without resorting to manipulation or force. So, guys, if you liked the review, do like and share. And also, if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, do subscribe the channel. If you want any specific book review, do let me know in the comments. Until then, see you in the next video.